Greetings travelers, what's up here? Just wanted to do a quick rundown of the rules of this challenge before we get into the video. We have 4 rules and 2 optional rules that I haven't decided on yet. Number 1, must be hardcore single player only. Number 2, items don't count toward the Grail if it's not found on stream. 3, this is a single character run, meaning no extra side quests from other characters or other characters for target farming. Number 4, if I die on the character, I must purge everything from my stash and my mules, and then I must reset my Holy Grail completely and start again. Optional rule number 1, players 8 only. This is one that I can't do on my current character, but I will consider if I do die. Optional 2, make every rune word in the game. I haven't decided if I want to do this rule yet, but if you'd like to see me do it, make sure to leave a comment on the video. If you're enjoying the Kaizo Grail, make sure you subscribe to follow my adventure into madness. Thank you, now on to the video. Was let me back again with the Kaizo Grail journey. Our descent into Nightmare on the Barbarian was very interesting. Honestly, it felt a lot better than normal at least, but not much better. I am still death by 1,000 paper cuts, but I'm really hoping that I can get some crushing blow soon. The den finished up quickly, and the mercenary really has been doing a lot of damage. More than me, I think. I decided I probably should save my favorite identify scroll in human form, but I didn't want to touch Griswold though. It takes way too long to kill him, and his amp damage, it's just better to avoid him. It started like most Nightmare runs, killing the Countess until your eyes bleed. I was really searching for bases as well. I wanted 2 4-socketed swords for spirits swords for my battle orders, and I also was looking for 2 IO runes, one to make a black and one to make a bulwark. I ended up getting a couple of unique items off of Countess. The Carrion Shard is a very solid early game summon necro wand. Also found a war hat, a peasant's crown. It was pretty nice, and a good temporary helm until I can get my bulwark. Not to mention it had replenish life on it so I could replace my belt. Another item that I got to mark off my Grail list is the Tankard Skull. Additionally, I found one of my goals, a 4-socketed sword to make a spirit for battle orders on my way down to the Countess. Finally, after many Countess runs, I never found an IO rune to make either the black or the bulwark. I did find a co-rune and debated what I wanted to do with it. I considered making a hustle weapon or saving it for a lawbringer. Ultimately, I decided I'd wait and see if I get lucky and find something else. But before I started progressing forward, again, I found something that I didn't expect off the Countess. That's right, I found nothing off of her. That was my cue to start going forward again, because obviously she didn't want to give me an IO. Moving forward into Andy, I took a stop at the smith and collected his shiny hammer, obviously. Also, I found a couple of unique items in the catacombs. Howl Tusk and the Diggler. Both of these are pretty useless items, but I can at least mark them off my list. Finally, I made it to Andy, and I stocked up on antidote potions and a dream. I was like, come on SOJ, come on SOJ, come on SOJ, no! Hawkmail! Oh well, at least it's an upgraded armor for my mercenary. Finally, we made it to Act 2. Very quickly I got lost and took a wrong turn somewhere along the way. I may have turned my brain off during this time, but even when you're lost, good things can happen. I finally got high enough to wear my Sakran's amulet, which is huge for 20 all res and 12 LL attribute. But getting on the right track, we went and found ourselves a staff and carried it on our way to Duriel. On the way to Duriel, we did find ourselves another unique that we can mark off the list, the Battle Branch. This is very bad. Even with the IS, I couldn't use it over my current mercenary weapon. After putting our staff and opening up Duriel, he was very easy to grind up in the dust. My paper cuts were very effective. But, like most bosses as a melee, it takes forever without crushing blow. But he did drop us a very interesting unique item, Woe Staff. It's interesting because it has slow on hit. This makes most monsters not attack very often when it procs, and increases our survivability, so I actually put it on my mercenary to test it out. Act 3 was a bit of a mess for me. I started off by hitting some dead ends and missing my turn off for the eye completely, and just started straight to the Flare dungeon instead. While in the Flare dungeon, I did end up finding Eisenhardt's parry, the shield, and marked it off my list, of course. After gaining the organs, I set sail for Trav, and ended up finding a sparking mail right before Trav. Then I broke the orb and started my path toward Mephisto, just trying to dodge the dolls. Now the path to Mephisto really demonstrates my overall experience in Act 3. I just kept getting lost, and I couldn't find the waypoint. I'm pretty sure I'm a professional at exploring entire zones at this point. After a great Act 3 exploration, I finally found Mephisto. I sometimes wonder how my Barbarian doesn't get tired from swinging his weapons so much. Every boss I fight, I keep wishing I had Crushing Blow to make it more tolerable. But for now, we use our 1000 paper cut attack and end up with a new unlock off of him, Ninja's Circlet, which wasn't really ever going to be useful, but it's something off the list. Considering I haven't updated my weapons, I tried my luck at the Countess some more and never found any IO runes, but I did end up making another spirit when I found a 4-socketed sword for a battle order weapon. So I decided to test my luck in Act 4. I went out to test my damage. Since the Hellplague does mostly fire damage, I was struggling really hard to fight the Doom Knights. I still found my way to Izzy and got my quest done despite the lack of damage. At this point, I knew I had to do something about a new weapon, or it was going to take me an hour in chaos to kill everything. So I decided I needed to use my co-rune to make a hustle weapon. So I used the dimensional blade that I was saving. With the new weapon upgrade and the malice in the offhand, I breezed my way through the Hellforge and was rewarded off the Nightmare Forge. I got the best thing I could get, an Umrune. After getting it, I wasn't sure what I was going to do with it, but that's future was Uppy's dilemma. With the new weapon, damage actually felt good for the first time in this run. Made quick work of chaos. But with Diablo spawning and the PTSD of normal Diablo, I was sweating bullets. But I was a changed barbarian. I could just sit there and tank his attacks while hooked up to a healing potion IV, obviously. Healing potions obviously don't have addictive properties, or my barb would be hooked. Even after shattering Diablo, he disappoints me with his drops. Nothing. Just nothing. Oh, because I didn't take 20 minutes running around for my life this time, I get no reward? Fine. So I moved to Act 5. I was really feeling a lot more comfortable right now. Got my socket quest done, and I decided to save the homies as well. I mean, you just can't leave them there. They're trapped in that impossibly tall fence. I got 2 decent drops along the way to Ancients. I got a Lumrune in Crystalline Passage, which I might use to make a smoke. But the most interesting drop I got so far was the unique ring I found in Frozen River. I assumed it was a Nagel ring, but I was surprised when it was a Dwarf Star. This was going to be very useful for me in my future Hell Trav runs. Finally, almost finished with Nightmare, is what I thought. I just needed to save Anya, kill the Ancients, Bale minions, and Bale himself. I really wasn't super worried about any of them, and I was living on my high of finding my Dwarf Star still. After setting up for Ancients, it begun quickly and ended fast enough considering no Crushing Blow. The Mercenary actually did decent damage in the fight and saved me a headache for having to deal with the Whirlwind. He did most of the tanking of the Whirlwind guy. I will say one of the most frustrating things I've had to deal with this new weapon is how often it breaks. I guess every good thing comes with a negative, huh? One of my chatters actually recommended that I upgrade my Rock Fleece, which was just a small cost of a Tau Shale and a Perfect Diamond. It was worth it to double my defense on it. On the way to Bale, we had to deal with some souls. There were so many, just pack after pack of them. I actually ran by most of them because of how much damage they were doing to me. I cleaned up the Bale waves pretty well until the last one. Again, I had to run them out of the room because he had amp damage and decided it wasn't worth the risk of trying to kill them. Finally, we've come to the end of Nightmare. The monster himself, Bale. it went pretty well. This hustle is really putting in some work for me. But Bale took a page out of Diablo's book and didn't want to drop anything useful. It was a disappointing end to Nightmare. Next time, though, we're gonna have to do some Nightmare Pindle runs so I can get up to level 65 and move to try to do Hell Countess runs. A few runes I'd like to get off the Countess. I'd like to get 3 Io runes, 2 Ko runes, 2 Fall runes, a Limb rune. The Io is for a black, a bulwark, and an unbending will. The unbending will also needs a Fall rune. The Limb and a Ko are used for Lawbringer, and the Foul in the Ko is used for obedience. These would all be massive upgrades for me, but it's probably going to take quite a while to farm up considering I don't have teleport and I don't know how my damage is going to be in Hell. I'll need several bases. A 6-socketed Phase Blade, 3-socketed Phase Blade, 5-socketed Thresher, and hopefully a 3-socketed Barb Hound with decent skills. If I can get any of these bases, it would be great, but I assume I'll be farming Countess for quite a while. I'll have to try to find some white bases and roll their sockets with the cube recipe. Hopefully, I can deal with Hell Countess pretty well and don't die, but we'll have to see next time on the Kaizo Grail runs. It's been pretty tough playing a Barbarian, but overall, I think with Hork, I'll be able to get this run done much quicker. If you enjoyed this video and want to see updates, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss an episode. We'll be taking this Barbarian from 0 to hero, hopefully. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in Hell, everyone.